Now, you made a statement at the down at Central Kingston, and you spoke about the FID. The Prime Minister was referred to the FID by the Integrity Commission to continue the investigation of illicit enrichment. You said the FID has been starved of resources. Speak to us about that.
Well, the FID, quite frankly, now is not a serious department. Again, it's a rump. It is a rump of a department. If 2 out of 3 posts are vacant, not 2 out of 3 filled, 2 out of 3 are vacant. If you have an investigative organization that is not led by people with experience, that's not led by experienced investigators, then it says to me you don't want that unit to function the way it should. And, people can draw their own conclusions. But I can tell you, I don't see any serious attempt to build the capacity of our corruption investigation
secret apps they don't want you to know.
Organizations, whether the Integrity Commission is under assault from the government. Under assault, is constantly being attacked. Hopefully they will continue to stand up and resist the political pressure. But they're under attack, not just in the public space. I mean, the Prime Minister himself has brought lawsuits to essentially strip them of their effective power. So what we see is a government, a JP administration that is so corrupt that rather than conform to ethical and established rules, they prefer to tear down the organizations that are designed to hold them accountable, designed to protect taxpayers' money. And, the people of Jamaica need to open their eyes and look at this. We would never have learned, for example, of the understaffing of the FID unless it was published in the International Narcotics Control Strategy Report. I forget the exact name. That's published by the U.S. administration. We only learned of it through them. But all this type of information is covered up and hidden by this JLP administration.
Now, do you think, you actually said you think it was deliberate to ensure that the investigation of the Prime Minister does not take place? Do you think they are doing any work?
Well, the investigations of this administration in general.
Do you think that they are doing any work at all as it relates to that investigation?
I have no information, but if I were to speculate, I would say no.
TVJ carried it, and TVJ didn't just carry what you said. And I want you to listen. It's about a 2-minute clip. Listen to this.
Opposition spokesman on national security is insisting that resources are being withheld from the Financial Investigations Division FID to fight financial crimes such as money laundering. Peter Bunting was speaking at a recent constituency meeting in Central Kingston. He indicated that the Integrity Commission report into the statutory declarations of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holiness has been referred to the FID.
That report was referred to the Financial Investigation Division. But what we have learned, not through this government, but through the International Narcotics Report that's published by the USA, is that the FID has been starved of resources. Their staff complement is now only one third of what it should be. They have no director. There have an acting director who is the IT manager, not an investigator. So what we see is that the organization has been stripped of staff and resources, and I leave you to draw your own conclusions.
The March 2025 U.S. International Narcotics Control Strategy Report states that the FID reports a reduction in defensive suspicious transaction filings due to technological improvements and training. Financial and human limitations continue to hinder efforts to investigate and prosecute money laundering. The U.S. report indicates that the FID has 83 staff members as of October 2024, well short of its target of 230 employees. From January to March 2014, 11 persons were prosecuted and 8 convicted for financial crimes. $1.9 million in criminal assets have been seized.
So, there you have it, sir. Nobody can say a line.
Exactly. I mean, not me says so. U.S. government says so. But what I'm saying is that we don't even have access to this information. I can guarantee you, if you had filed an access to information request, you would have got a response. Oh, this is a national security matter. We can't disclose this information to you about the staffing or the vacancies, etc. So we have seen that this government muzzles and restricts information. They release what they want to release that is didn't, that supports the spin they want to put on any issue. But they suppress and muzzle information that's negative.
Have you asked any questions of the authorities since you found out this information?
This pisses me off.
No, I wouldn't waste my time. I know they're not going to disclose it. When we were having all these repeated states of emergency, from I think it was 2017, 18 it started, we would often get up in Parliament and ask the Prime Minister, tell us what are these resources? What is it costing to run these state of emergencies, etc. And he would always say, I will get it to you. And we never got anything. And so they're a dishonest set of people. They will say or do anything. If they're caught in a lie, they double down on the lie. So, if you think this is the sort of era of civility in government, if I go back to the days when somebody like Colonel Trevor Macmillan was Minister of National Security, I could call him, go and see him, we would discuss things in confidence, and he felt assured that in my position of responsibility, even though in the opposition, that I would respect any confidences that were necessary to not, release inappropriately any information which he had shared with you. This government is not like that at all. Completely different.
Is it that they are governing the GLP and not governing Jamaica?
Well, it's ironic that in year 10, they've started this using the slogan, choose Jamaica. Because in a sense, what they're saying is that for the last 9 years, they've chosen themselves and their cronies. And now that they're basically so fat and their accounts are so fat, they will, in year 10, start choosing Jamaica. So it was a sort of Freudian slip on their part, I think.
Well, they actually said that the third term is for the people. They have taken the first 2 terms and they are offering the people the third term. No,
that's correct.
Comrade Bunting, with all that we see now happening at the FID, because the Integrity Commission had referred the Prime Minister, does this show us why the Prime Minister should have stepped aside and clear his name?
Absolutely. In any self-respecting democracy, you could not have a prime minister who year after year after year can't get his statutory declaration certified, who is under investigation for illicit enrichment, who, has, to my mind, not yet given a plausible answer rather, for the millions of dollars in cash from unidentified depositors that has gone into his personal account. Was not explained how on a salary of 10 to 12 million at the relevant time ended up with hundreds of millions of cash flowing within his accounts and his associated company accounts. All of this to me is a sort of contempt for people, contempt for the people of Jamaica. So, this is what the voters will be asked to decide on. Is this acceptable for them? Is this acceptable for Jamaica as a country, for its international reputation, to continue to be led by someone who is under this cloud of investigation?
What would really happen if the Prime Minister is successful in the court by getting rid of the illicit enrichment clause in the law?
Well, to me, it would be open season. It would really be open season on the taxpayers' money in this country. It would be an undermining of not just the Integrity Commission, but would be an undermining of our democratic institutions. You remember, the attack on the Integrity Commission is just one. They had made a commitment, the government made a commitment to CMOC. And, that's the private sector. That's sort of the social compact between the private sector, NGOs, faith-based institutions, civil society, opposition, and government. They had made a commitment to introduce unexplained wealth orders, which is an investigative tool to be used by the police, by Integrity Commission, MOCA, FID, etc. And they have reneged on that. They have reversed that, just like the body-worn cameras. They have reversed that. These are all commitments made to CMOC and signed off on by the government.
CMOC
and they have backed off of all those things, which would empower investigators, which would increase accountability, etc. So their thing is clear. They want some sort of authoritarian regime. This is why they are so in favor of things like states of emergency. It suspends people's rights. It gives extraordinary powers to the Prime Minister. But they are in an environment where our media landscape, not just in Jamaica, but generally has changed. We see that we've gone down, I forget, 16 or 20 places in terms of it.
Well, this year we are falling two places. We are falling 2 places in the index this year, and I think 16 overall
but if you look at the
2020.
release, since 2020, we fall like 16 places.
16 places since 2020.
Right. So we're going in the wrong direction. And also, when you think about it, and this is not just unique to Jamaica, but the economics of traditional media have been very challenging. Some of our oldest, strongest companies are literally struggling to survive in the traditional media space. So that even strengthens the hand of the government that much more, because government is probably the main advertiser and sponsor of mainstream media now. So they have the power of the purse to intimidate and threaten those who don't support the government and who are not receptive to the government spin doctors.
Now, Comrade Bunting, you are looking to become